Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Excuse me. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Pisces. How will Pisces be affected by the October 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels, no, there we go. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Okay, so when I picked up this deck, which is for our public arena self, all right, and went to go put it in the inner self. Okay, this means that our public self and our inner self are going to be really intertwined during this time. So just be aware of that right off the bat, Pisces. At our root is at the bottom here is our rooted self. On the left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Strength card, which is Leo energy, and we have the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. If we have Leo within our natal chart, or we have Cancer within our natal chart, these are coming through very powerfully at our root. We then have the Craftsman of Air, Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and we have the Seven of Air. If we have air sign energy in our natal chart, this is coming through very powerfully in our inner self, and we're going to spend a lot of time thinking about and finding our voice. And it can be that we start kind of preparing for public speaking again. Okay, if we've done that, or, for something that we create, something that's created from the thought, something that's created with mind and hand, okay, coming together to be seen on a bigger scale than maybe what we have done recently. Okay, there's something bigger coming. We have our emotional self. We have the Seven of Cups. We have the 10 of Wands, and we have the 8 of Cups. Then in our public arena self, we have the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This full moon is in Aries, so that comes through very strongly here. It's also amplifying the Leo energy at our root. And we have the 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups is change your mind and change your life. Really seriously, it's starting to change the way that we look at things, especially when we embrace the public world. It can be that we're working very hard on something to come forward, and it's like we've come out of our shell, or we've come out of a funk, or we're building something bigger and better, and I don't know exactly what that is, and it will most definitely be different for each and every one of us, but it's almost like I'm finding my voice again, I'm finding my passion again, I'm finding my insight again. Like I lost my groove, my way of being able to express myself the way that I wanted to, and now I'm finding that, now I'm connecting with that, and that it's liberating. I feel it as very liberating, but I also feel it as like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? It's kind of like we almost want to pull it in and hide it away. We want to pull up the covers and hide away. So just be mindful about that during this time. The energy that we need to be mindful of, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading and show me clearly, is the Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But this is also, we're going to try and make something fit that doesn't fit. This is energy, vibrational energy. Well, yeah, that doesn't necessarily fall into alignment with us. It doesn't drive with the energy that we have going. It doesn't, the rhythm, it's kind of like we're singing this one song and we have this one rhythm going and then this other beat is coming in and it's just knocking us off. It's kind of like I Love Lucy episode where she has to sing in, I forget what it's called, but when you sing and then the other person comes in and sings, like row your boat, and then they sing it later. And that's going to be something that comes up here. It's like, wait a minute, you're not in harmony with me. What the heck is going on? And why am I trying to make this work? So just be mindful of this during this time. And we're also going to be drawn to people who just have like these bursts of energy, like this burst of I'm right, or they're just going to be scared and trying to force it. And it's like, okay, just calm down. But until they calm down, it's not going to be the best of things. So just be mindful of that. The chakra energy here that comes into play, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, is universal light. Now this is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is a sense of radiance coming to us. There's a sense of warmth around us. There's a sense of power to us. And there's a sense of being able to embrace this light and this power. Okay, so let's start off before we dive into the tarot, because we have a lot going on here, especially emotionally wise, which is very interesting. And we're building up something, we're releasing something, we're finding the strength to move forward, and we're starting something very personal and very powerful for us. Let's talk about this moon astrologically. On the 20th of October, we have the full moon in Aries. On the 4th of November, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And on the 19th of November, we have the full moon in Taurus, which is also a lunar eclipse. So that moon is astoundingly powerful. The full moon brings home and family and close relationships into focus for the next 2 weeks. More if we're moon sensitive, and also if we find bigger issues starting to come up. Opposite energy comes into play during this time. We become very focused on this opposite energy, on what we need to balance. We can feel out of balance, and we can feel as if we have to fix it right away. It's going to be like instantaneously, I need to fix this. If it's not in balance, it's not good. It's like, no, things are going to be a little bit crazy during this time. It's actually going to be a really good thing for us, but they're going to be like up in the wind, gone with the wind. And this is going to be a time where we need to be like, I'm okay with that. I can understand that. I can embrace me. I can move forward in the way that I need to, in the way that I desire for my life. Conflict can build, and it can take over if we don't acknowledge it, and we don't acknowledge it as the energy drainer that it is. The fact that we're going to want to fix everything, the fact that we can't fix everything, the fact that we're going to tend to be scared first and then kind of try to fall into reason. So just be mindful there. This is a very sacred moon in many cultures because it correlates and corresponds with the hunting season. This is why it's called the hunter's moon and the blood moon. It's for the blood sacrifice that was made to our ancestors to keep us going through the winter. It's for that protection. It's for that power. And what we have here in the northern hemisphere is we have ourselves preparing for the winter to come, especially if we live in very cold climates like I do, where it's like, okay, it's going to be intense. The snow is going to come. Things are going to be beautiful, but also a little bit harsher. And that's okay. And we're finding ourselves getting ready for that. And for some of us, we're actually anticipating that cold and that connection. For those of us who live in the southern hemisphere, and this brings forward the summer months, we're also anticipating that connection, that sense of lushness and, heat radiating through us. That's going to be very powerful for us. And it's going to be well needed. The full moon in Aries is opposite Mars, which is the god of war, and Pluto, which is the god of death. Don't decide anything too quickly during this time. That's going to be huge for us. Pisces, we're going to want to decide everything yesterday, or we're going to think, I have to make a quick decision, because it's almost like we don't want to keep anybody waiting. So it's like, okay, I have to make that decision now, or else I'm not going to be able to make the decision that I want. Spirit is saying here, take your time, don't be impulsive, because if we are impulsive, we will regret it. The full moon opposite Mars gives us this strong need to have our desires fulfilled. We are going to be driven by passion, but we have to be careful because moodiness, impulsiveness, and anger can keep us from achieving our goals. We will find that everybody's moody, impulsive, and a little bit angry. And it's just not the best energy to be around, but we can't let it consume us. We are going to be more emotional than we are going to be rational. We're going to find that we're really going to want to be rational, and we're going to think that a lot of emotional decisions are rational decisions, and they are going to be for us. Okay? But we can't is a harsh word. But we should be mindful of the fact that we have to embrace our emotions, especially as a water sign energy, as a Pisces, as somebody who, really lives within their emotions and is guided by their emotions. This is going to be something that's very important for us to acknowledge and embrace the power of. For the best results during this moon, we have to realize that we're going to be a little bit angry. The god of war never kind of sits back and chills out. He's just not a chill person. So there's always this bit of anger. There's always the sense of, I'm going to prepare for the worst and hope for the best type of thing and see what happens. So using this anger to drive us, using this anger to focus us, using this anger to get us going, that's going to be like making us laser precise. So that's actually going to be a really good thing. We use this anger just a little bit. We don't let it consume us. This full moon, for some reason, in its weird, intense ways, has us moving towards our greater good, almost without us realizing it and without us meaning to. We're moving towards something bigger than we had imagined, and also is aligning us with passion and determination and focus. The full moon squared Pluto brings up a lot of things that we've just buried deep down within us. So this is a time where I highly suggest a spiritual advisor. I highly suggest, journaling or, doing something, talking to a friend, a family member, where we can get out a lot of the chaotic darkness within us, or like it can be too light or too dark. It doesn't matter. It's robbing our vision. So whichever way we see it within ourselves, it's robbing our vision of our future, of what we desire, and of where we need to be. So acknowledging this becomes a game changer, because the toxicity that's within us, we've buried it down and buried it down. As it comes up, it becomes debilitating. It becomes overwhelming, and we start to lose the focus of ourselves and where we really want to be. Now, if we release this, again, it's cathartic. It's powerful. We need somebody to hold space for us. This can be also having a conversation with somebody that we really trust and saying, listen, I know it might sound odd or maybe, very hippie-ish, but I need you to hold space for me now, meaning I need you to listen without judgment, without, comparison, and just listen to everything that I've been carrying, because I've been feeling everything really intensely right now. And see what happens if we say this to a friend, if we say this to a family member. Now, they can expect something really bad to be happening, because we're going to say, don't say anything, let me talk. But they can also then start to just kind of let everything seep in and see how that resonates with them, how that moves them forward. It's kind of like we get the full story and we get to digest the full story, which is not usually how we communicate at all. We have this back and forth, and especially if you have ADHD like I do, it's like the sense of, okay, I have to chime in right away or else I'm going to forget that thought. If we forget it, that's okay. Maybe it wasn't necessary. Yeah. Mars squared Pluto brings a strong drive towards success and can also increase our desire to win. It's just going to increase our desire to win. It's going to increase our desire within to be number one. Now, we can really have something to prove to ourselves. We can have something to prove to somebody else. We have to be mindful of this, because we can be controlling, ruthless, jealous, and underhanded. Everybody can be. And those aren't cute emotions. I mean, that doesn't make us look good, because we're going to have a tendency to be like, why not me? We're going to have a tendency to want to cut a person off at the knees. We're not going to shine the way that we need to shine. And this is going to be a time where we need to acknowledge this. We're going to be a little bit ruthless. And that's okay. It's actually okay. We're not always going to be at our best. And just to acknowledge this and to say, okay, I see this. I see me. And I'm good with that. This is a time where people's egos are going to come first, and then they're going to enter into the room. So again, we have to be aware of this. Our egos can come first, and then we enter into the room. This is going to be a time where we're going to take things personally. We're going to say, well, why don't they like me? Not why isn't this going well, or why don't people see, the beauty behind this? It's like, no, it all becomes personal, and things aren't necessarily going to be personal during this time. Everybody's just so ego-based and so driven for themselves that they can be harsh and cruel and unthinking before they speak. Now, not being drawn into drama is going to be a really big thing. Is it going to be a really hard thing? Yes, it is. Why? Because we're going to love drama. It's going to be so good for us. Well, in the moment, it's going to be like eating a whole bag of potato chips and then eating a whole box of chocolate. It feels really good in the moment, and then we get sick. So here, with this energy, it's like, okay, we want all the drama, we want to know all the gossip, we want to know all the dirt, and then we just feel icky about it. And we're going to find that we need to just get our drama from television, not from watching, any real anything, any reality TV, any, gossip or anything like that, but just from good old fashioned TV, and then a book, or whatever form of entertainment we like, a video game, a game, whatever it is that we like. We're going to find that that's where we need to get our drama from. Real life, it just will consume us. If it's from a celebrity, all of a sudden we're going to be talking about that celebrity like we know them, and that's just not healthy. It just isn't. It wrecks with our energy vibration. It wrecks with our own projection forward, because they have a life that seems just completely unobtainable, and it's going to bring us down. The full moon in Aries is most closely aligned with the fixed star Alphard. Now, Alphard is also known as Eta Pisceum. This star is of the nature of Saturn and of Jupiter, and it makes us prepared, determined, and successful. So it's a really, really beautiful star. The star also rules the pineal gland, which links us with spirituality. That's why having a spiritual advisor during this time is a really good thing, is just going to be something that's really beautiful for us. And having even a spiritual journal for this time is going to be really cathartic. And it doesn't mean that we have to, write everything out if we're not interested in writing everything out. If we kind of feel things in colors and emotions and, music and ideas, just kind of taking a box of crayons, like the kids would have, right? And letting ourselves color it out and see what the scribbles would do, or like we had in kindergarten, letting ourselves scribble on a page and then look at that and say, okay, what do these colors mean to me? Why did I put them together this way? Why are they overlapping like this? And just sit there and meditate on that piece of art that we made, or that, scribbles that we made. What does it mean? Why is it coming forward? Nothing that happens with a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is on a small scale at this time at all. It's always going to be powerful. It's always going to be kind of larger than life. Alphard is also the star of mysteries and can align us with a powerful understanding of mysticism, spirituality, and religion. We're going to feel very drawn to these things. Now we have to be mindful, because we can also be drawn to the seedy underbelly of them, which can really bring us down and not be the loving and kindness that we're looking for. When we have strength here, we're going to get a little bit confused when it comes to strength. We're going to want to be the strongest, the biggest, the baddest kind of person on the block. And what Spirit is saying here is that everybody wants to be. That's why everybody's being led with their egos. They want to be the most powerful, the most, complimented, the most whatever. And this is going to be a time where we just kind of need to step back from that. We need to say, what is strength? What is strength but connection with our own power? What is strength with the power of our own voice? What is strength without our insight and our ideas and our love and our compassion? And it can't even be that we look at ourselves over time and we're like, okay, so I was working on my strength then. I was working on my acceptance then. And we start to come to realizations about ourselves as we evolve as individuals. That's going to be where the strength is here. There's also a sense of facing a storm within, facing something that would normally knock us on our tush, where we're looking at it now and it's like, I'm okay. Like, I'm better than I thought I was. We need to move forward in love. As water sign energy, we need to move forward in love anyway. We need to move forward with an acceptance of ourselves, with an openness of our heart, with passion and tenacity and insight and ideas. We're heading to something better, and we're going to find that as we embrace that betterment of self, as we embrace the passion of what we desire, we're moving forward in a way that takes us by surprise. We're also embracing a strength that takes us by surprise. And I like how we have here 8 and then 7. We have this countdown into ourselves and this way of progressing things forward. The craftsman of air, our voice says so much. Our art, our instincts, our ideas, the way we're putting things together, the way that we're imagining things within our mind. If we can get it down on paper, that's going to be really good, because we want it to have longevity. But there is a sense here of, let me think about it, let me create it, let me see it. Like, I have to see it first within my mind before it can become a reality. And so we're going to need to have these like workshop moments for ourselves where we connect with this energy, where we understand it better, where we understand ourselves better, and then all of a sudden the door opens. All of a sudden we're like, oh, okay, that's what I needed. Like, oh, okay, that's what I see. And things make a lot more sense. We're also going to be looking at things in like a multifaceted different way. And as we look at things from different angles, that's it, different angles, different perceptions, different ideas, we can even ask a whole bunch of people about something, or like, if we've written something, or if we've, worked on something, it's like, okay, I want a lot of people's, not too much. We have to be mindful, not too much, because if we get too much information, it'll be overwhelming. But I need you to look at it from a different point of view. I need you to see it from this way or that way. And that's going to be very powerful for us. The Seven of Air, the Seven of Air in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and why I laugh is because it's like, it's just all over the place. Or like this, the wind guides us during this time, and the wind will take us where the wind needs to take us. But the Seven of Air in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is about betrayal. It's about taking things forward, leaving certain things behind. Our inner child self wants to take more with us than we ourselves can carry, but we're so used to carrying this burden that it's just second nature to us. So here we have to be mindful about this during this time, but we also have to be mindful to let our voice move forward in the way that we really need it to, in the way that we want to express ourselves, in the way that we want to see ourselves, in the way that we want to understand ourselves. There's going to be an element of chaos to this time that can feel overwhelming, but then really aligns us with who we are and where we need to be. We then move to another 7. Now, the number 7 repeating itself. 7 is a number where, and we have it 3 times. We also have a repeat of the number 8. So the repeat of the number 8, we're taking this time really seriously, actually too seriously. So we have to kind of calm down with that. The repeat of the number 7 3 times. Don't lie. Don't lie during this time. I don't know why it is, but you will be called out. Somebody will say a bigger lie. Somebody will do something more outlandish, and yet they'll be perfectly fine. But we will be called out, and it's going to be really annoying. This also is deeply aligning ourselves with mysticism, with spirituality, with this greater understanding. And we need to embrace that understanding within ourselves during this time. Yeah, just like we do with the fixed star Alfred. Now, with the 7 of Cups, we are moving towards what we love. We're looking at our dreams and our hopes and our wishes, and these are things that have been kind of buried underneath the toxicity that is being brought up with the full moon squared Pluto. And we're starting to say, this is my voice, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I'm headed for, this is what I desire. And as these dreams come forward, we're going to be releasing a lot of the burdens that we've been carrying in our career and what we desire to create from the passion of our lives. There's going to be a sense of, I release this, I don't need this, I don't want this anymore. And we're going to see that we see more, because whenever I see the 10 of Wands in my mind's eye, it's the person bent down, but they're always looking at the dirt on their shoes, right? That's all they can see. They can only see the mud and the dirt and like everything, just a muddy, watery mess. But when they take off the burden and they look up, it's like you can see the stars and the sun and even, the rainbow after the rainstorm. It's like life becomes beautiful, and it's all about perception. If we put too much on our shoulders, if we put too much weighing us down, our perception is messed up. And this is a time where we need to look at our perception, look at what we're perceiving, look at what we're needing, and really embrace our hearts, our souls, and ourselves. We're walking away from something we once thought we would love. That is just ending the cycle here. And this is what we need to do. A lot of times we stay, and we stay too long. Why? Because it's comfortable, because it's routine, because we think we should. And now with the 8 of Cups, it's like, I release it. I release what I don't need anymore. I know that it's time to leave. I'm leaving. I'm moving forward for me. I'm embracing what I need, what I desire, what I want within my life. And that's a game changer. It moves us to the Queen of Wands in the public arena. We're fierce during this time. We don't need anybody to see our fierceness. We don't need anybody to understand our fierceness. We just need to be fiercely ourselves. We need to embrace our sacred feminine energy. Coming forward to things with a little bit of a softer touch is going to be a great thing for us, but we also don't need everybody to recognize us. If we recognize what we do, we recognize our blessings and our gifts and our powers and our insight, that's the game changer for us. So here's the time where we start to recognize ourselves, and that's when we change our minds and we change our whole entire lives. That's when the game starts to take on a new beauty. We don't look at everything that was failed. We look at the beautiful unity, the beautiful love that we have, and we build off of that. Passionate hope is what we have in the public arena, and I like that. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Oh, goodness. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So we start off here with self-love. Excuse me. And then we have conclusions are within reach. This is the full moon eclipse. So this is the dark within the light. This is also very much guiding us towards the full moon on November 19th. There's a sense of a real revelation of self, a real love of self coming forward during this time, really guiding us. It moves us to our inner self. We hunger for communication. And we're going to find that communication is key. We need to talk. We need to see. We need to gain an understanding. It brings us then to our will and our emotional self. You are good enough. And it's like, will you admit that you are good enough? You might not be perfect. You might not be exactly where you want to be. But right now, you are enough. Enough to conquer, enough to succeed, enough to be empowered, enough to be emboldened. In our hearts, we have to tell ourselves we are enough. And we can write that on our mirror, put it on a post-it on the fridge or the coffee maker or the tea kettle, wherever it is. And just let us know that we are enough. And take time to read it. Take time to connect with it. Take time to see it instead of, seeing it but not seeing it. Beginnings, a time to heal. This is the new moon. So this is also focusing us on the 4th of November, which is the new moon in Scorpio. And it's a time to heal. But this is a time to heal because it is a time where so much is being brought forward. And we're seeing so much. By the time we get to the new moon, we're going to actually see ourselves in a bit of a different light. We're also going to feel more connected with our voice than we are now. Our subconscious Luna message is balance. Step out of your comfort zone. We will find balance by stepping out of our comfort zone, by testing ourselves. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. The Hierophant, this is a sense of being too stuck on traditions, is what Spirit is saying. It's like being too rigid and being too much of, it has to be this way, it has to be that way, it has to be this way, it has to be that way. And so here, with the High Priest, we can be very drawn to these type of people who's like, it has to be done just like this. And our sentiment during this time is like, but why? And if it's always been done that way, don't you think it's time for a change? It's going to be our sentiment. Our subconscious chakra message is holistic health. This is one of my favorite cards. It's our root chakra, and it's embracing our holistic joy. It's saying this is holistically who I am. We're embracing the essence of ourselves, what we desire, what we want, what we need, the way that we want to move forward in our lives. We're also connecting with our body. We are connecting with the supplements that we need. We're connecting with the nutrients that our body is craving. And so here with holistic health, we're becoming more aware. And now with our supplements, if we are taking vitamins and we don't feel like they're working, a personal thing that I found is that if you take the lozenge vitamins, the ones that melt in your mouth, the easy melts, those work really, really well. So if you're having a bit of trouble with digestion or you're not feeling like you're absorbing your vitamins, do the easy melts. Those are really, really good. Or whichever lozenge, sublingual vitamins that you are drawn to. But here it's being more connected with our bodies. It's being more connected with what we need. It's drinking enough water. It's getting enough sunlight. It's getting enough exercise. It's sleeping enough, which, boy, I know I'm terrible at. So here, it's like, it's calling ourselves out, and it's being aware of how we're calling ourselves out. Our subconscious rooted message is the Mage. As above, so below. This is the Magician. As we believe it, so we become. And we're going to find that our minds play such a powerful part in who we are and how we perceive ourselves. This is a time to take our blessings. This is a time to count our blessings. This is a time to stand before the altar of our existence and claim our power, not letting anybody steal it. Then we have our subconscious inner self, and it is the Priestess. Now, the Priestess is the sun in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and we're going to find that the light of the moon radiates the light of the sun, right? It reflects the light of the sun to us, and there's a sense of I'm falling in alignment with me. I'm seeing me more. I'm embracing my passion, my joy, my acceptance. This is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. And we are embracing the happiness and the brilliance within ourselves. Our subconscious emotional message here is the Five of Pentacles. For some reason, we're carrying forward a poverty mentality. We're going to be doubting that we can move forward the way that we want to, the way that we need to. I saw here the repeat of the number 5. Oh no, it's here. So there's a sense of we think we're never going to be able to change it. And we have it with the Hierophant, right? The repeat of the number 5. This is going to be a time where we can change things. We're actually going to have more power than we think. But because we're so used to being powerless, having our voice denied, having people mock us, having people, deflate us, hurt us, it's going to be very hard for us to regain our sense of worth. And I don't mean that in a discouraging way. I mean that in a it will not happen overnight way. But we're going to see that we connect more with our worth, more with our power than we had before thought. And so here we start to find the way that we need to move forward, and we start to look at the things that have poisoned us. It's the toxicity that comes up with the full moon squared Pluto. Subconsciously, it's going to affect us a lot more than we realized. Our subconscious public arena self is the Ten of Cups, and they all live happily ever after. Joyfulness, success, prosperity, bounty, beauty. And this is finding our beauty. This is finding our happiness. It might not be somebody else's happiness, and that's totally okay. But this is our happiness. This is our beauty. This is our success. This is where we need to be. And we're letting that light shine. We're letting our power shine. We are moving forward in tremendous power and sense of worth. Even though we have some hiccups along the way, there's a profound sense of worth here. All right. Okay. All right, Pisces. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces, and may you have a blessed moon.